What
works
do
for
you
me,
prefer?
and I'll upload. So
Yeah, it's
we are recording, and you're good to go, Carl.
okay. Sounds good. Okay, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday night call. I'm very excited to have all of you with me. I love seeing your faces. I feel like I haven't seen some of you in a long time. Just talking to Terry and hearing her sweet voice makes me happy because life is crazy right now, and I know everyone is doing all they can to manage life, personally, as well as manage their life in the business of Arbonne and build a business and help lead your team and all of those things. And so I'm super proud and excited of everyone, but I miss some of you because I know we're all just busy and scrambling and doing the best we can. And what I love about this is that we just trust our love for each other, and we know that even though we may not be hearing from each other as much, that we still love each other and we're still as near and dear in our hearts. And that's what this girl who gets to train with us tonight and that you guys get to sit at the feet of tonight, Miss Valerie Makowitz, who is just one of the sweetest gifts of this business that I have gotten because I said yes to Arbonne and so did she. And Val lives up in New York, and I've gotten to go up and spend some fun, just family days with her and her family whenever we've been in our travels and stuff. But I will tell you guys, I've gotten to watch this girl and be in awe of her since she was a district manager. And years ago, and Val can tell you how many, because I don't know how many it was. Years ago, I was at a global training conference. It may have even been a national training conference. It was that maybe that long ago. And there was this sweet little district manager that they had up on stage at that conference. And it was none other than Val Makowitz telling her story up there. And gosh, it makes me cry because from that very moment when she was up there telling her story, she stole my heart. And whenever they introduced her, it was honestly the first time I realized that girl is connected to my Arbonne family. And how blessed am I to say that girl is one of ours. And I remember that day vividly. And I have been so blessed to continue to foster that relationship and grow in our love with each other over this journey because of the gift of Arbonne, you guys. And that is the best and will always be the best gift of this company that we will ever get with each other. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to turn it over to this sweet girl who is now our newest national vice president in our organization, an Arbonne family, and let her just share what is on her heart with all of you tonight. So I'm going to turn it over and mute myself, and all the dinging will stop. I promise you guys. It's just my computer, so ignore me.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Carleeta. Oh my goodness. I'm still becoming what I like to call tech savvy. And that's like a really overstated term for I try to push the right buttons and not screw anything up too bad. So I just really appreciate you guys having me tonight. I just can't thank you enough for being on. Each one of you. When I do any kind of training like this, I try to pretend and picture that I'm sitting across just a little bistro table or a little coffee shop table from each of you, because really, if I could, I would just have a conversation with each and every one of you. And in a perfect world, I would get to hear about you first, and then I'd get to share. But we don't get to do that on these trainings. So I'll just go ahead and share a little bit of my story. And I'm going to talk a little bit about activity. And but before I get started, just thank you guys for being on. Carleeta, thank you so much for asking me to train anyone on your team. I know I'm part of that team, but just knowing that anyone could benefit from my story, I am so oodles of grateful. So to get started, I'll just sort of tell you a little bit about myself. I love that Carleeta said I was from New York, because it makes me sound really cool. It's not the cool part of New York. It's like the lame part of New York. It's upstate. So I'm not from the city. I wouldn't survive a day in the city. I'm from Buffalo. It's up sort of near Canada and Niagara Falls. And that's where I've lived my whole life, kind of within the same small town, kind of with all the same people in my life. And I was able to build this enormous Arbonne business. And when I say I mean we. And that's, I think, the most important thing to know, is that my story only matters because of the stories of the other people that I've helped, and the other people that they've helped, and the other people that they've helped. So the only reason my story is a thing, the only reason I can say I'm an independent consultant and national vice president with Arbonne, is because of all the other stories that come together and make up that wishy-washy statement of, oh yeah, I'm an MVP. There's so much weight to that, and there's so much to that. But at the same time, it's something that everyone can have. So whatever letters you have in life, whatever letters you're wanting, just remember the most important ones, and they're MOM, not MVP. They're WIFE. They're I can't spell friend. The I's and the E's are also, so spell it how you want, but be a good friend, sister, brother. Those are the most important letters after your name. So take MVP with a grain of salt, and just know that means I've just done it for a while and I didn't quit. So about my story. Some of you guys don't know my whole story, and I'm going to tell you why that's okay. It's kind of a boring one. And I'm so proud of it. I think it's one of the most inspiring Arbonne journeys because it's so insanely normal and boring. It's not epic. I didn't set records in Arbonne. I've won little awards here and there, but honestly, they were for like consistency. Whoop-de-doo. Like consistency. Just little things like that, like doing things for 3 months in a row that you should be doing anyway, like that kind of stuff. So I promoted to every level in this company according to company average, and let me tell you, it's been awesome. I recommend it to everybody. So if any of you are listening tonight and you are having any sort of angst about your journey, wanting it to be faster, wanting it to be lightning bolt, or just being discontent with how it's the timeline it's been so far, or wondering, am I ever going to find that person who just gets to the top and does it faster than I did? Are they out there? Get over it. You want a Val Makowitz. Hopefully one that's way more responsible than me, way more organized than me, way more energetic than me. But you want a lot of people who are doing a little bit and who are just working to the capacity that they've been gifted with. And my capacity is just ordinary. So cheers to the ordinary, the normal, the boring, the not pace setters, the not trendsetters, the not, crazy star reachers, and just sticking to a plan that works and faithfully walking it out. Because I'll tell you, I have no regrets in this business. I have no regrets, you guys. And wherever you're at, you can have that same journey. So when I was introduced to Arbonne, I was a full-time graduate student. I was a single mom. I was working more than one part-time job, and I wasn't doing any of it super great, as you can imagine. But I just remember meeting this sweet, wonderful girl who was crazy enough to think that she was going to be successful in a goofy network marketing business that everybody usually just quits in 6 months. And so I took all of her information with like a grain of salt, because I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is so sweet. And like, she's not going to be here in a couple months. She's not even going to be doing this. So I was just like incredibly judgmental, incredibly ignorant, just like as in not knowing. But you guys, you got to understand where I was coming from. I only knew people who were pushing weird, people I literally ducked from in the grocery store and parking lots. Those are the people I associated with any type of network marketing or MLM or direct sales or social marketing. Now that we have Facebook, it's like basically she was like that girl on Facebook that you can't even, like, you just want to block. Like, you don't even want to unfollow. You don't want to unfriend. You just want to block. Like, that was every network marketing person to me. So in walks Sarah Barber, who's also from Buffalo, New York. She's an executive national vice president with Arbonne now. And she's just kind of sweet and nice. And she's like full of hope. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what a nice girl. And I thought that she had that hope just because that was who she was as a person. I thought that she had that bravery to talk in front of people because it's who she was as a person. Well, things that I was kind of getting wind of because that's who she was as a person. And then I found out after getting to know Sarah, naturally bent towards the things that I saw in front of me at that spa party. It was Arbonne that was drawing out those amazing qualities and strengths in her that she was coming across and showing me and showing other people through her spa parties. And I can tell you, she was well practiced. She knew her script. She knew what she wanted to share. She had not just hope, but she had like conviction, but she also had so much humility, almost to the point where I thought maybe she was nervous, but it was truly just humility. And I was like, dang, that is really something. So it wasn't even Arbonne that I was attracted to. It was who Sarah was as a person and how she was communicating her business. And then as I learned about the company and as I learned about the products pretty quickly, I realized that that was how and why she was being that way. And I got to know her, I liked her, and I trusted her. And guys, some people take more time to do that. So if you don't grab someone right away at a party and like get them started, or you ask someone for coffee and they're like, no way, man, or you just, maybe someone was interested, but then they told you they're not. Guys, I blew Sarah off for a year. Some of you guys haven't even been doing Arbonne that long that are on this call. Some of you guys have only been doing Arbonne that long on this call. So I really encourage you, like, do not judge where someone else is at in terms of what that means for you as a successful business owner. Because I'll tell you what, if Sarah got turned off or discouraged or, sad or bummed about me not like saying yes to her right away, or not, meeting for coffee, or not jumping at the opportunity for a whole year, if I had gotten wind of any sort of pressure, weirdness, insecurity or anything like that, guys, I wouldn't have followed her, because it would have negated everything that I saw and knew and was attracted to about her and about this business. So little word of advice: check your attitude, check your reaction when people are like, no, not yet, I don't know, anything like that, and be like, that's my veil, that's going to be my veil Mac. Because seriously, you guys, I was the girl who said I'd book a party and then canceled it. Tried to cancel it, but she didn't let me, because there's no canceling in Arbonne, there's only reschedules. Right? That's a rule that I have, and it totally works. So I rescheduled on her. And then I rescheduled on her. And then I rescheduled on her. It was 6 months before I had a party. And I still didn't really want to do this wacky business, because I was waiting for her just to make sure she wasn't going to quit. And then it was 6 months again before I had another one, just because I ran out of stuff. It was the only reason I had another party. And that's the party that I got started from. It was just a couple people in our living room. Call it a party, call it an event, call it a get together. It was basically a one-on-one with a couple other people, because honestly, I was the one who was most interested of anybody there. But truly, guys, there's someone that you have met that is watching and waiting to make sure that you haven't quit yet. So don't quit. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't take such a break that someone questions whether or not you're doing Arbonne. Because the number one reason I started doing Arbonne, because guys, I was scared to death. I was broke as a joke. I was busy as heck. I saw someone who was still doing it a whole year later. And I was like, all right, that blows my mind. I will follow this girl to the ends of the earth. Hopefully she won't take me there, and we'll just build an Arbonne business instead. So that is my journey in a nutshell, because it's all boring and following a business plan and being consistent, loving people well from there, truly. My biggest hurdles with building to district and area and region and nation, honestly, guys, some of the struggles are the same ones that you have just trying to get to district. It's just consistency of activity, being the best person on your own team, even if you feel like you are the only person on your own team. Oh my gosh, there's little messages popping up and they're so cute. I didn't even notice them before. That's adorable. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have actual ADD, like diagnosed, like I should take medicine, but I just drink insane amounts of fizz instead. So I apologize if I get a little distracted, but the number one thing that I built my entire business with is just being secure in who I am and just really honest and authentic. So that's just what I'm going to be. And sometimes it's kind of like Dory. So I'm like, oh, Elmo, Nemo, wait, what's your name again? Awesome. On a Zoom call. We're live. Okay. So let me talk to you guys a little bit about activity, very little bit, because I think we overthink. Can I say that? And can we just be honest that that's what we do? So instead of helping you like overthink about activity, I'm just going to help you change the way you think about activity. Because sometimes I think it takes a fresh voice, a fresh perspective, new eyes, just a different way. You'll spend your whole rest of your business just looking at the same things from a little wider scope, a little more peripheral, a little bit like a little different angle and things like that. And that's what's going to help you stay fresh, because what we do is it's the same old stuff, but the people change, you guys, and you will change also. And that's good news for all of us. So so you're probably heard, if you've been in Arbonne for more than like 30 days, you have definitely heard people say, or someone on a training call, like, activity is everything. It's everything, everything, everything. And then like the following week you hopped on a call and then someone else got on and they were like, mindset is everything. It's everything, 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 everything. And then, fast forward to a Saturday, whatever call, and they read this in a book and it was like, oh, simplicity is the key. That's the number one thing. Like, we're always trying to listen for like the number one this or the number one that. Okay, I'm going to help you forever. Listen to this concept. When you hear contradicting things, you need to know and decide and be aware that it's not contradicting things. There are multiple components to how we build this business. Think of it like one box, but every side needs to be there and be stable, and that's how it all holds together. If you ever did like origami, or maybe you did these like cool little things as like a kid, you were doing like pick red, pick blue, pick whatever. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about probably. Listen, I watched a documentary on origami. This is how boring I am. And I bet some of you have seen it too, and none of you will admit it, but anyway. So, okay, activity is everything. Mindset is everything. Simplicity is everything. A system is everything. It is both and. It's activity and simplicity. It's balance and times of chaos. It's attitude, but it's also, thankfulness. So like it's both and. So don't get yourself confused. Don't feel like you're trying, like don't lean hard in on any one thing. Just know that it's each thing and zero in on what you have to when you have to. And so for summer, I really, really think it's activity and momentum. But here's the both and. You need to approach activity and momentum from a perspective of mindset. What is your mindset about activity? Some of you decided before summer started that you were going to have a slow summer. Some of you decided before summer started that you were going to take breaths instead of breaks. So, and that's what you called them, but really you went away camping for like 2 or 3 weeks. How you think about activity is going to determine what that's like. It's something called metacognition. And that's a really important word for you to have for the rest of your business. Think about how you're thinking about things. So a tiny bit about activity, I'm just going to shift your perspective on it so that you can get what you need and do right by what you have, okay? So the first thing, I'm going to read you this quote. Think like a man or woman of action, but act like a man or woman of thought. And that's Henry Bergson. He's a Nobel Prize winner. Don't think of the rest of this month and the rest of August as, I got to get a full calendar. I got to fill up my appointments. I got to do this thing. Think of it as, I'm going to move my situation forward with activity. So it's not, I got to get this. I got to get that. It's almost like you should almost not, you probably don't even want to hear yourself say that. And you probably don't want to hear someone else say that to you too. But just say to yourself, I'm going to move my situation and my story forward to the next right thing, and I'm going to push it into that realm of activity and forward motion and momentum. Okay? You're not getting a calendar, you're moving your situation. Okay? So let's think about how we look at activity. But first, I'm just going to read you a really awesome quote about momentum, because I never knew this and I never thought of it this way. All right. No, now I got to find the page. Isn't that great? Doesn't that always happen? Like you go to look for it and then it's just not there, right? Okay. So how many of you guys are rowers? You've forgotten rowing, or maybe you were in crew, or you what is that called? Kayaking. I've done that before. Nearly drowned. Never doing that again. So, all right, I'm gonna blow your mind here for just a hot second. Okay. So, what if you had, and so I want you to picture yourself with your calendar in front of you. Okay, you're sitting with your calendar in front of you, and I want you to make this mental picture. What if you had completely clear mental space with nothing pulling or pushing on you unproductively? Are you laughing yet? What if you could dedicate fully 100% of your attention to whatever was at hand at your own choosing with no distraction? Guys, that's the first step to getting activity that you need and making the most of what you have. It is possible. There's a way to get a grip on it all and get meaningful things done with minimal effort. Now, I say minimal, and I'm reading minimal, meaning streamlined effort, meaning you sit down, you know your task, you do your task, you do it well, and you move on, okay? Minimal really just means no distraction. So you can experience what the martial artists call a mind like water. And top athletes refer to it as the zone. Some of you guys are athletes and you've heard of the zone. I'm getting in the zone. So within the complex world in which you're engaged, in fact, you have probably already been in this state from time to time. And I bet every single one of you would admit, yes, I have had moments where I've been in the zone. I was booking, I was getting appointments from appointments, I was sitting down, I was focused, I was not scrolling through Facebook looking for contacts. Yeah, no, we're not looking for contacts on Facebook. I mean, it takes a really disciplined person not to be distracted by the rabbit hole of like, and now bunnies are yellow. Who knew? Like crazy stuff, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? When you see like these crazy articles come up and it's the rabbit hole, and then you click the next one and the next one, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's 40 minutes later. What have I been doing? And that was your window of work. Shoot. We all do it, guys. Give yourself grace, but just don't do it again. Set an alarm on your phone when you get on Facebook so that you can be productive with your time. So it's a condition of working, doing, and being in which the mind is clear and constructive and things are happening. More and more, it will be a required condition for any of us who want to maintain balance. And guys, I think summer is a time where we have to seek that out. Yes, there's family time, there's a time to play, and there's a time to work so that you can play more and you can play better and you can play more fruitfully. So the world-class rower, Craig Lambert, described how it feels in a book called Mind Over Water. And that's how I want you to picture yourself when you're sitting with your calendar and you're like, oh, I do not have what I need, but I need it and I'm going to get it. Just a mind over water, okay? So listen to this. Rowers have a word for the frictionless state. It's called swing. That's what you're going to call momentum now. I'm in the swing. Okay. Recall the pure joy of riding on a backyard swing, an easy cycle of motion, the momentum coming from the swing itself. Do you guys remember that as a kid? where you would just kick and it would take you higher than you kicked, and then it would swing you back further than you thought you could handle. But then because you went back further, you had a high swing and you're like, I'm going over the bar, right? Have you ever had that? Or maybe you were pushing your kids or something. The swing carries us. We do not force it. We pump our legs to drive our arc higher. So he's talking about rowing, but gravity does most of the work. Did you hear that? Gravity does most of the work. You guys, you have obstacles, you have challenges, you have things that are going to come up and be tempting to make you feel like your efforts aren't worth it. It is not God telling you, oh, this Arbonne thing, maybe it's not for you, or oh, you had a good run, but your time's up. Like, guys, it's gravity. But gravity is what causes the coming back around. And that's just what happens in this business. So we are not so much swinging as being swung. The boat swings you. The shell wants to move fast, and speed sings in its lines in nature. But our job is simply to work with the shell, work with the boat, work with the framework, work with the verbiage, work with your calendar. That's your shell, you guys. Stop holding it back with your thrashing struggles to go faster. Okay, guys, that's where I want to land this. Are you thrashing to go faster and sinking your boat? You need to be so patient with the process. You need to be so gracious with your hosts and the people that you're meeting in this business. Just like timing was a thing for you, timing is the thing for everybody. And you have to do yourself and everyone you're meeting a favor, and you have to keep moving on to the next. You're at an appointment, turn it into another one. One canceled or rescheduled, make that phone call to create a new one. That's the swing that you have to get used to in this business, so that you aren't the one causing the crazy effort and you're about to flip over the bar. You want to be the one letting gravity and letting your simple kick just sort of keep it going. Or when you're rowing, it's getting that right form, right? So that you can get into a really good pace that's best for you. So if you are loving your business and where it's at and everything's good, then keep doing the pace that you are and keep going and pat yourself on the back and live the dream. If you are not where you want to be, if you're wanting and needing to be somewhere else, if your calendar doesn't look fancy pantsy like you want it to, then start the kick, but welcome the gravity, because that's what's going to keep you going. And I tell you, I have been doing this for 8 years. For 8 years, you guys. Where's my little calendar? I always have my calendar near me. Oh, here it is. Right here. I have so many of these. Fill them up, keep going, and then move on to the next. Because if I can do this business, oh my gosh, every single one of you can do it better. So keep helping people, keep going. Do not give up on your summer. Do not give up on your July. That's poo. That's poopy thinking. That's just stinking whatever. That's just, nope. What you do in your business tomorrow will tell you a lot about what you're going to do with your business the next month, the next 2 months, and the next 3 months. So I challenge you, decide what it's going to look like and do something about it. Find your swing and get it going, because you can do this. So thank you so much for having me, Carleeta. I just appreciate you a lot.
I wish I could hug you right now, because you are just that girl for me and everybody else. You just loved on everybody tonight, honey. And your story, just helping everyone feel like they're okay, is what your gift is in this business. And from the moment you were up there on that stage as a district manager, and then the other times I've heard you train, you've always, it's funny because I get to hear a lot of people train because I'm on so many trainings, but I can pull out specific, and I have quoted you on our training many times from the few times that I've gotten to sit at your feet. But you guys, what she is saying is that it's just simply a decision. People can either make July their worst month or their best month. I love smiling, because I remember back in 2014, I went into qualification for national vice president in the month of July. And that means it wasn't just me doing a little bit of swinging and letting gravity, help me move my business forward. It was a lot of people that created that, because you know what it takes to go nation. And that's what can happen. And it's all a matter of what we're allowing to come into our lives. And you guys are all well trained. You're so trained, and you so know how to do this. It's just a matter of getting yourself on the right track and refocusing and helping you know that what you do today is going to affect you in the few months. And I love how she said it, you guys, like, what you do now is going to affect what you're going to be doing down the road. And just decide you're going to be good at this, because it doesn't take a lot to be good. It just takes a little bit to be good. And then you can have whatever life you want, and you can work wherever you want and however you want, and you can be with whoever you want. And I promise you, whatever that takes for you to be able to live that life, it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, my kids have just been, I feel like I'm in this transitional stage in my life. And when I look back, I'm just reflecting so much lately. And there was so much work and effort and time and gravity in my life over the last 14 years. But I can tell you, every single bit of it was worth it to live and have and be the way we get to be today. So thank you, Val, for being a living, breathing example of our newest national vice president in our Arbonne family that is helping everyone see that what they're working for is real. It didn't just happen for me 12 years ago. It's still happening today for people who just get in here and consistently use these products, love them, and tell other people about it, and plug into that simple system right there that we use. So thank you so much for taking your time and sharing with us and letting everyone see you and love you, because I'm going to read the rest of the comments, but I know now they get to see why I so affectionately talk about you whenever I quote you and share what you are and who you are in this business. So thank you for letting me give you to my team and my Arbonne family, and just know that I'm so proud of you and I love you. I'm grateful.
Thank you, Carleeta. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, Terry, for helping me, honey. I appreciate you too.
Good night, Carleeta. Great job, Val. Love you.
Thanks, friend.